Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to Randomly Random. I am Kwame, your internet bestie. Today, we are watching and reacting to a horror movie titled Knowing. The plot: a little girl predicts all major catastrophes in the future. Let's find out if her predictions come to pass. Get your snacks and let's get into it.
Hi, Mystery Recap here. Today, I'm going to explain an American science fiction called Knowing. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. In 1959, a small girl, a recluse called Lucinda, is in school. It's playtime. But she is away from the other kids, with voices whispering around her. Their teacher, Miss Taylor, comes to call off the play break. She had to call Lucinda separately because she wouldn't budge. Next, the teacher is in front of the class. She reminds them that tomorrow is the school's official opening day. She tells them that the school celebrates its opening with a competition, in which students draw a picture of what they believe will happen in the future. The children are excited and begin to draw different things, except for Lucinda Embry, who is guided by whispering voices to fill her paper with a series of numbers. Before she can write the final numbers, the allotted time for the task expires, and Miss Taylor collects the students' drawings. The works are stored in a time capsule to be opened 50 years later. The next day, on the opening of William Dawes Elementary School, the principal welcomes everyone and announces the burial of the time capsule. 50 years.
Why do I feel like this is so weird? Like, what if they don't even check what the children write? They just put it in the time capsule. So what if the child writes something negative? Isn't that putting like negative energy into the atmosphere? Like what? Shouldn't they be checking what the children are drawing? Especially if they want like a good future for everybody. What if somebody drew himself like just going around and people, you know? Okay.
From now, their descendants will dig this time capsule up. After the time capsule was buried, Miss Taylor notices that Lucinda has gone from where she was. The staffs begin calling her name, looking for her within the school. Miss Taylor goes down a staircase and hears some noise behind a door. On opening the door, she finds frightened Lucinda with blood on her hands. She had written some things on the door with her fingers. This is the remaining numbers that she hasn't finished writing the day before. She looks very scared and asks the teacher to make the whispers stop. Fast forward to 50 years later, the movie's present day. An astrophysicist, John, finds it difficult to control his depression after losing his wife. He has trouble believing that there's meaning in life after his wife has died in a fire accident. He also has a son, Caleb, who also struggles to move on. The next morning, at Caleb's school, the current principal announces the unveiling of the 50-year-old legacy, the time capsule, that was buried 50 years ago. She calls on old Miss Taylor, the same teacher from 50 years ago, to do the honors. The capsule is opened and the children each receive an envelope. Caleb receives the letter from Lucinda and opens.
I'm sorry, but who keeps track of this? Like, this school must really take this tradition seriously because what? I'm sorry guys, but what? Okay, I guess every school has their traditions because what? Huh? Wow.
To find numbers on the paper instead of drawing like everyone else. While staring at the paper, he begins hearing whispers from everywhere, and notices a figure standing far away from the school, but it's gone when he checks again. At home, Caleb tries to ask permission to go to a friend's place for a sleepover. While talking, his dad notices the paper from the school.
Wait, I just want to say, I wonder if Lucinda is still alive, because it's just 50 years later, right? So maybe she could be like 60 now, or 58. I don't know how old they were, like she was when she wrote this letter. Whew, let's find out if she's alive.
And queries him about it. He wasn't supposed to bring it home. Once John puts Caleb to bed, he starts to get curious about the list of numbers
they
himself.
were supposed to bring it home?
He accidentally puts a whiskey glass on top of it, and it makes a circle around specific numbers. He puts a set of numbers on a whiteboard and he quickly realizes that this means September 11, 2001, of course being the attack on the Twin Towers in New York City which killed 2,996 people, lining up perfectly with these numbers. Certain that this is just a coincidence, he puts all the numbers on the whiteboard and investigates further. He figures out that the list
Wait, why
is
is he
full of
taking
similar
this so
things.
seriously? I'm confused.
Dates, years, and lives lost.
So let me get this straight. He just found the letter with his son, and he happened to pour whiskey on it, and then it happened to circle some particular numbers. And then he took that seriously. Like, he really took that seriously and wrote that. Like, he was curious and wrote that on the board and realized it was a date for a catastrophe that had already happened. And then now it's like it has piqued his interest even more. Now he's there trying to figure out if the other numbers mean anything. Why do I feel like him putting this much energy into it is rather like activating the numbers even more? Like, I get it, the catastrophes have already happened. So, like, why does it even matter? You know? Let's see what happens.
At specific tragic events such as explosions, crashes, earthquakes, hurricanes, etc. These are all listed in the order that they would have happened since 1959. He uses red circle for the date of the tragedy, and blue for the death count. But there are some uncircled numbers that he can't quite figure out what they mean. So the next day, John talks to a colleague, Phil, about the numbers on the paper. He explains that every set of numbers matches a major disaster in date and lives lost, and the predictions of the numbers have been consistent. Even the date his wife...
Wait, I'm just thinking about it. What if John was in Lucinda's class? Wait, I'm sure he would have known, right? I'm sure he would have known. Okay, I guess he wasn't.
Died was also there. John tells him there are 3 sets of numbers that hasn't happened yet, and one of them showing 81 people would die somewhere tomorrow. Phil refuses to believe because it's too crazy to be true, and thinks that the numbers are just coincidences, as there are also uncircled numbers on the paper that apparently has no meaning. He suspects that someone may be playing a joke on John. John begins to search for more details. He goes to Miss Taylor, who was Lucinda's school teacher back in 1959, when the time capsule was buried. He wants to verify the authenticity of the letter. Miss Taylor confirms that this is the original, and tells John about Lucinda scratching on the door after the burial of the capsule, and the weird circumstances surrounding it. John expresses his desire to meet Lucinda, but it turns out that Lucinda had passed away due to a drug overdose several years ago. At home, while trying to get some contacts over the phone, he sees a couple of strange men pull up to the yard in a car.
Oh, it's so sad how her life ended. Oh, she died from an overdose. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, I really wasn't expecting that. So sad.
Caleb goes up to the car, and the strange men give Caleb a rock without actually saying anything to him, which of course freaks John out. He reminds him to stay away from strangers and sends him inside the house. While searching through the net about Lucinda's death, his sister, Grace, startles him. Grace wants John to visit his family because he hasn't talked to his father for a very long time. But he refuses. John has a difficult relationship with his parents due to them being extremely religious, and John is an atheist. The next day, on his way to pick Caleb up from school, John is stuck in traffic. He tries to reroute but no alternative route. Looking at the coordinates on his GPS, he realizes that the uncircled numbers he couldn't figure out on the list earlier are in fact coordinates of all the locations where the tragedies will happen, and he is exactly at that location. He leaves his car to find out why the road is blocked. While talking to the police, the prediction happened. An airplane falls to the ground. Several people burn and die while he tries to help. He goes back home while still having trouble believing what just happened. John goes on.
Wait, is it that easy to just like break an airplane window? Like, he broke it like it was some car window. I thought airplane windows are more secure so that they can withstand the pressure when they're in the sky. I mean, if it was that easy to break through an airplane window and pull somebody else like he did, which we can all see is fake because, I mean, this is a movie, but that's really weird. Now I'm like, can we trust airplane manufacturers?
Online to search about the accident only to find the report stating that 81 people have died. At night, a strange man walks into Caleb's room. Caleb wakes up and the stranger shows him a revelation of everything being destroyed, while the animals are running for their lives. Caleb screams. His father runs into the room and carries him from the floor. John sees a strange man through the window while holding him up, and runs out looking for him, but he's gone. The next morning,
These people that
John
run
and
out
his son
to check
trail a
out things
woman
when they
and her
see
daughter
something
to the
strange, they're
museum.
really bold.
At the museum, he meets the woman and they introduce themselves.
I don't understand, like in horror movies, when people see something strange and then they actually take a torch to go check it out. It's like, huh? Because we, like real life human beings who live on this earth every day, if we should see something suspicious, our first instinct is not going to check it out. Our first instinct is hide and call the police. Like what? Why would I see a strange man outside my window and then rather want to go and check it out? Guys, let me know what you think. Except I'm wrong, because I really don't think I am. Would you rather go check something else when you see a strange man, some strange man standing outside your window, or would you just hide and call the police? Or call somebody for help?
She's Diana, Lucinda's daughter. John later explains to her that he followed her to ask about her mother. Diana becomes upset at the mentioning of Lucinda. He explains that Lucinda's prediction had come true and only 2
like
remaining,
Lucinda,
and the
like
last one
the
will
young
happen
Lucinda.
3 days later, on October 19th, and 33 people will die. He needs her help. However, Diana leaves with her daughter Abby, saying she cannot help him.
Maybe growing up, she
At
heard her
home,
mom say
there is
something
news of
she
a
can
possible
help.
terrorist
That's true.
attacks. John searches the location of the next disaster using the GPS coordinates. He finds the location, a subway station, and tries to warn the police. John goes all the way to the subway station and chases a guy he thinks is a terrorist into the train.
He's going
The
there.
police follows them.
Okay,
They discover that the
superhero.
guy is just a petty CD thief. The train sets to move, but they see a derailed train heading towards them, and there's chaos as everyone tries to escape. The train kills a lot of people, fitting the prediction once again. The next scene shows the survivors, including John, coming out of the debris, and the police and fire department trying to help. Returning home, he is surprised to see Diana and her daughter waiting for him. She proceeds to tell John that the last disaster left on the list is on October 19th, the same day Lucinda said she's supposed to die. Diana didn't want to talk with him about it in the first place because she hated the idea of knowing when one would die. Diana decides to bring John to Lucinda's former home, an old abandoned building where her mother used to hide from everyone around her. As they pull up, they realize that the last numbers on the list, which followed the date October 19th, weren't the numbers 33, but the backwards letters of EE, which they think are the initials of a name. At the house, John searches Lucinda's bedroom, where they found out that EE in the last prediction means everyone will die. He also finds many of those black stones in the house, like the one Caleb received. Outside, Caleb and Abby are in the car waiting for them to return. They both start to hear whispers and see those strange figures. The whispers call on them to come. Poor Abby almost got taken, but Caleb uses the car horn to call attention. John
Okay,
and Diana run to
that's a
them,
wise
but the strangers
young
were
man.
gone. John sights one of them and runs after them. Finally catching up to the man, he
This man
asks what
keeps
he
running
wants, but the
towards
man
these
opens his
people.
mouth, and huge bright light comes from it, and he disappears. They return to John's house, and can't believe Lucinda predicted the death of everyone tomorrow, and this could be their last night together.
Wow.
The next morning, John wakes up seeing Abby's drawing. Suddenly, he realizes that the final disaster may have something to do with the sun. John finds that the last prediction, which is tomorrow, was in tandem with a research he had done about super flares from the sun hitting the rest of the solar system and destroying everything. He quickly goes to the observatory and checks on the recent readings of the sun, which shows abnormal levels of solar radiation. He thinks that a large
Wow.
solar flare may occur.
I mean, if you were him that saw that, what hope would you have? How do you stop the sun? Like, how do you stop the sun from killing everybody? Like, what? What depressing news, like, to know. How depressing is it? Guys, this is where I point a question at you. Would you rather know when you will die, like the day you die, or why you will die? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Like, wow.
Very soon, and that may be the cause of humanity's destruction. Back at John's house, they prepare to go hide in an underground cave where Diana used to play as a child. It's time to go. He goes to call Caleb, but finds him at his desk writing a similar list that Lucinda did. From what Caleb was writing, he gets the sense that Lucinda's writing on the door 50 years ago was fundamental to the last prediction, so they go back to the school. He removes the particular door, takes it home, and begins to unveil the writing. Diana is impatient and wants to get to the caves before doom comes, so she steals the kids and drives to the caves. John finally gets the numbers from the door, and he assumes this is the coordinate where they can survive this disaster, but when he comes out, everyone is gone, which prompts him to chase them from behind.
She stole the kids.
Diana stops at a gas station. At the station,
Why?
she watches the government announce that there's trouble coming and everyone should take shelter, preferably underground. Diana goes to call John to tell him where they are. John tells her that the safe haven might be at Lucinda's old home according to the coordinates, but she's scared and refuses to go there. While still on the phone, the strangers steal her car with the kids inside. She also steals a car, and tries to follow them, but runs into a half-truck.
Why do they want
She
the
breaks
kids?
her neck, and later dies in front of John, at exactly 12 midnight according to her mother's prediction. John drives to Lucinda's abandoned home, and follows a car-ridden path into the bush. He finds many of those black stones there. Finally, he sees one of the strange men and threatens to shoot. Caleb stops him and tells his father that the strangers have been protecting them this whole time, and that they must go with them in order to be saved. It turns out that they were the ones who sent the messages about the major disasters trying to save humanity from being completely destroyed. They then reveal an ark up in the sky.
They had to be so
John is
strange
astonished.
and weird about it.
It's time to go. But the strangers will only allow the children go with them. Only the chosen must go. Caleb cries. Caleb and his father say their last goodbyes. And the men turn to shining bodies, and the ark leaves. Up in the sky, many of such ark had come to several other places on Earth.
Aren't
They
they
are
rather
also
heading
leaving.
towards the sun?
John wakes up in the
Which
morning
is
on
more
that ground.
dangerous?
He navigates the now rowdy city to his family house. His sister meets him with a hug and he tells her, Caleb is safe. He enters the house and hugs his father, then his mother and his sister joins for a group hug. The sun flare starts to destroy everything, and takes them too in their group hug. As the movie ends, the ark drops the children at different places and goes away. Caleb and Abby run through the field towards a huge tree. Now, for the explanation. At the end of the movie, the beings who have been whispering into Lucinda's and Caleb's ears finally reveal themselves as a more evolved alien race, who have been selecting few humans and animals to save from the imminent destruction of the planet. Since there were other spaceships leaving the Earth, it's possible that these humanoids whispered the same messages to other people around the world. So, why were only the children taken? Aren't children too young to themselves? We can assume the other children were children with various types of knowledge and skills. Maybe the Whisper people chose some specific children who would be great at working together.
What?
Destroying the planet. Children are more of a blank canvas, and will have a more open mind as they grow older, and learn to understand why the aliens do this. It's also entirely possible the aliens don't simply leave the children there to fend for themselves. It's possible they stay in the skies and observe, and then come down to the planet to teach the kids how to build and how to survive. That's my explanation for the movie. Subscribe for more videos like this.
Okay.
Turn on the notifications and leave a like to help the channel out.
Guys, I don't get this explanation for the ending. I feel like everybody could have been saved. Like what? Imagine such a way to die. The sun just explodes and touches everybody in the whole world. And what, they saved only the children. Huh? I feel like there are some adults that were not better, but were more good than some bad children that were there. It's just like in the Bible when they said only the children, don't deny the children entrance into heaven, or to let the children come to Jesus, or I don't know if this relates, because what is happening? What just happened? And it's so sad that Lucinda's daughter died. It's so sad. I'm wondering if Lucinda knew the day that she would also die. Guys, that has been Knowing for you. Let me know, have you watched Knowing before? Have you watched Knowing before? I feel like those aliens looked more like demons at first, when they were all in all black, but when they transformed into their original beings, like the transparent beings, the beings full of light, they looked more like angels than aliens. But that's just my observation of things. I really enjoyed the movie, actually. I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie. Will I go look for the full movie? No. I feel like this has been enough for me. I get the storyline. I get it. But Do you agree with the narrator's explanation of why only the children were saved? Let me know if you agree or disagree. And if you don't agree, why? Let us know. Or if you have your own theories, let us know. Why do you think only the children were saved? Why do you think the whole world couldn't be saved? Let us know, okay? Guys, if you enjoyed this watch party with me of the movie Knowing, please do like this video and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.